Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I have come up with a different topic so as to quickly enable you to start the development onto the big data platform. So basically, whenever you want to learn any new technologies from the big data environment, for example, let's say you wanted to learn, Hadoop, Hive, or HDFS configurations, how to make those particular configurations, then Spark, or for that matter, Kafka. So basically, whenever you want to just learn that how to develop applications using these kinds of applications, it is very important to have the setup of that particular software onto your machine, or you should have the local setup of those application that are ready to start the development of those particular application onto your local machine. So that's the subject of today's tutorial, that I'm going to show you that how to quickly set up a big data environment where it is like all the Hadoop related ecosystems like HDFS, Hive, HBase, then Spark, all these mandatory things that you need to start your development, that are ready, and you just can have this particular setup ready within 5 to 10 minutes, and you should be able to start your development very quickly. Okay, so let's get started. The kind of setup that we are going to do is Cloudera's quick start machine, or the Cloudera's quick start Docker box that we are going to set up. So as you know, Cloudera is one of the prominent vendor of Hadoop ecosystem, and they do have some quick start virtual machines, virtual box, and Docker images that are readily available for the developer community who want to learn the Hadoop big data environment in an efficient way. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to set up the Cloudera's quick start Docker image onto our local machine. Okay, so to set up this particular machine, what is the mandatory thing that you should have with you before starting this setup is nothing but the Docker installation. So if you have a MacBook, then you should download and install the Docker from this link. And if you have Windows machine, then you should download and install Docker from this particular link. So I'm going to share these links into the description section. So you just can visit these links and download and install the Docker before starting the this setup. Now, next step after the Docker installation is to get the latest Docker image from the Cloudera's Quick Start. And for that, we are going to use some of the Docker commands that will enable us to fetch the latest Cloudera's Quick Start Docker image from the Docker Hub repository. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do is we are going to run this Docker pull Cloudera Quick Start latest, this particular image from our terminal basically. So just go ahead, copy and paste this command and run it onto your terminal. Okay, so I'm not going to run this particular command onto my terminal because I have already pulled this image, but you make sure that if you want to set up this Docker quick start Cloudera Docker, then make sure you copy and paste this command onto your terminal and just press enter. As soon as get this particular Docker image from the Docker repository, you have to wait till this particular complete image is being fetched onto your local machine. And once that process of fetching the image from the Docker repo is completed, you need to validate whether it has downloaded that image or not. For that, what you can do is you can do the Docker images. That is again the one of the Docker command that you have to run. So once you run Docker images, you should see this particular output onto your terminal that, okay, it has downloaded the Cloudera's Quick Start Docker image from the respective Docker repository. Okay, so this is what this is how we can validate that whether that Docker image is downloaded successfully or not. Now, once this Docker image is downloaded onto your local machine, next step is to start the execution of that Docker machine. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to run this particular command, and what this command is going to do is it is going to fetch, or it is going to create a container, local container onto your machine. Okay, so I'm going to again paste this docker run command onto the description box. Make sure you just copy and paste this onto your terminal. So let's go ahead and run this and let's see what it does. Okay, so it has started this particular execution, and the expected output of this docker run command is it should, as I already mentioned, that it should create a local container onto your machine and start that particular container as well. Okay, so this is what it is going to do. So let's wait till it completes and let's understand what it is doing. So basically, as I earlier mentioned, that what does this Docker Quick Start image contains is all the necessary infrastructure to start the big data development. The applications like HDFS, Hive, HBase, then Spark, Zookeeper, all these things are pre-configured in this Docker box. Okay, and what it is doing currently, it is starting those services. As you can see here, see it is trying to start the node manager, it is trying to start the resource manager, then it is trying to start this HDFS master node, HBase master node. Okay, so it has started these scoop services. So all the services that are necessary to start the Hadoop development, we can say, are being started here. Okay, so with this particular thing, it has started all the daemons. I will show you how to see what all daemons are started. Okay, so if you just do JPS here, then it will display what all daemons or what all Hadoop services it has started. Okay, so this is the list of services that it has started for us. So basically, if you see this, it has started this data node. Then we should have the name node as well somewhere. See, this is the name node. Then we have this node manager. Then we have the secondary name node as well. Then we have this H master, which is nothing but the required daemon for the for starting or enabling the HBase setup. Okay, so these are all, in short, like all the HDFS specific or Hadoop framework specific services that are being started. Now, one thing to note here is, as long as or as soon as you ran this Docker run command, right? So it has taken you into the Docker image directly. But this won't be the case every time. It might be possible that your system is shut down, or you have restarted your system, and you are not into the Docker shell. So now what I'm going to show is that, let's say if you are onto your local terminal, as you are seeing onto this terminal, this is my local terminal, right? Now what I want to do is I just want to check what is the status of the Docker image that I have downloaded. Okay, so for that, what we need to do is we need to see some Docker specific command. So Docker has a command known as Docker ps. What it does is Docker ps-e. What it does is it will display that how many containers are running in your Docker. Okay, so basically these are all the container IDs that are being allocated for the this image ID. So while downloading the image where we did that Docker pull, it has downloaded this image ID, and out of this particular image ID, it has created this local container onto your machine. Okay, so what we are going to do is now we are going to see how to start this container. Now, if you see the status of this container, it is exited. That means it has stopped its services or whatnot. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to see how to start the container in Docker. Okay, so for that, what you have to do is Docker, then start, and then here you have to mention the container ID that is been allocated to this image. Okay, so let me just run this, and it will very quickly it will start this particular container. Now once we start this container, what we need to do is we have to enter into this container. Now, what is the step to enter into this container is you have to write docker exec hyphen it, then you have to give this container ID and then slash bin slash bash. So this is the command that you have to write if you want to enter into this particular container and if you want to access the various services or whatever, like you want to write some Hive queries or HBase queries into this container. Okay, so let me just press enter, and now if you see, the shell has been changed to root at the rate quickstart. Earlier it was just this dollar, which was my MacBook's terminal, but now we have, after running this particular command, we have entered into the Docker's terminal. And now if you do JPS here, then we will see all the services that we have seen earlier. Now, since the Docker container was stopped earlier, we have restarted that container. So it is in the process of starting all these services. And that's why you are seeing in some of the services, you are seeing this process information unavailable, because that particular service is not yet started. So just wait for a minute or so and let Docker start the services. Now, if you see, all the services are started. There is no information like process information unavailable now, because it has started all the services. So basically, when you see all the services are started, then basically your Docker image or Docker container is started completely, and now you can write your queries or whatever big data related development you want to do. Okay, so this is about the downloading the Docker image, then setting up the Docker image, starting the Docker image, and entering into the Docker image, about those. Now what we will see is how to go with how to go into various terminals, like let's say we want to start using Hive, or let's say we want to start using HBase, then how we are going to do that. Okay, so let's say if, for example, you want to go to Hive terminal, then what you will do is, onto this quick start terminal, you will just type Hive and press enter, which will enable you to, it will take you to the Hive terminal, and where you can have, whatever Hive related things that you want to do, like you want to do the create the database, create the table under it, and whatnot. Okay, so basically, if you just go and do show databases, since this is the first this is the fresh Docker image that we have just set up. It doesn't have any database that is explicitly created. It always comes with the default database. Okay, so this is how you can quickly enable, like within 5 to 10 minutes, your development environment, local development environment is ready, and you just can start utilizing that particular environment. Okay, now here you can just do create database and whatever Hive queries that you want to run. Okay, so this is about Hive. Now let's go ahead and see how to start the HBase terminal, HBase shell. So for that, what you have to do is you have to come out of that Hive terminal by doing the exit semicolon and just write HBase shell. This will take you to the HBase shell. Okay, so let's wait for a minute, not even minute, few seconds, and it will give you the HBase shell. Here it will mention all the things, like what is the version of HBase that is being configured, and etc. Okay, and for that, you just once you are here in the HBase shell, everything like all the HBase related commands that you can execute onto this HBase shell. Okay, so you have to quit to come out of the HBase shell. So this is how we have seen that how to go to the Hive terminal, how to go to the HBase terminal, and likewise you can access the Spark terminal and whatever, like related Spark. Let's say you want to write some Spark queries. So this is how you can go to the Spark terminal by typing Spark hyphen shell, and it will just give you the intended Scala shell where you can write your Spark programs, Spark queries, Spark SQL queries, or whatever Spark related things that you want to do. Okay, so let's wait just till the Spark shell gets started, and here it is. So basically, this is the Spark shell where you can do your Spark development. Okay, so I hope you understood this particular setup of big data development environment using the Cloudera's Quick Start Docker image, and I'll hope that this is very you will find this very useful as well while setting up the local development environment for doing any big data related project, practice, or for whatever intended use that you want to do. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.